Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome to Far Lone Sails. This is a game about loneliness and the apocalypse and loneliness, like a lot about that. So this is us, our character here, this little red poncho-clad person, and the thing we're standing atop is our land ship, our weird steam engine land ship thing. Let's drop down into the hatch here and I can show you around a little bit. So it's run entirely by these big orange buttons that you just sort of slam your body into, because there's not a lot of different controls in this game. It's pretty much just hurling yourself at things. And as you can see, first of all, it's shooting a lot more electricity out than you normally want. Generally, you'd like it if the electricity stayed inside your land ship. And secondly, if you'll direct your attention to that big tank next to me that says energy, and how it's completely empty, I have run us completely out of fuel. Mostly through incompetence. But it's okay, it's not the end of the world. I mean, that's maybe the wrong phrase to use, but you know what I mean. The word sails is in the game title for a reason, so if we just, you can see here that flag fluttering, telling us that there's quite a bit of wind. We just deploy our sails here. Yeah, there we go. So you have a little bit of camera control. You can zoom way in on your character so that you can see things in more detail, or you can pull the camera back to really absorb the desolation around you. And also upcoming obstacles, we should probably pull the sails. Quickly, elevator, quickly. This is not... Oh, get him down, get him down. That's not great. Yep, okay, the engine's on fire. That's alright, we have a thing for this. We just need to direct a whole lot of water at that place where all the electricity is, and everything's fine. Let's deploy the brake here before things get any worse. Okay. Yeah, we're not in a great position. And now, in addition to everything else, there's a huge metal box in our way. Okay, well, first things first, I see a fuel drum. And another little, that little white crate next to the fuel drum, that's also fuel. So we'll go back and get that in a second. Only carry one thing at a time, unfortunately. Alright, so we just press this, and there you go, full tank. One problem solved. We're going to grab this this fuel box before we do anything else and throw it in there too. Obviously the tank is full, but there's all these hooks all around the ship for hanging things that you might need later. Alright, let's try to resolve this big metal box problem. Looks like we can pretty easily slip under here. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think that with somebody constantly talking over it might be the single worst way to appreciate this game, because that's really sort of the opposite of what's going on here. A lot of the silence and the scale of it is hard to absorb if you're not really just like taking it in and being alone with it. So there are going to be periods of this where I'm not talking a lot. Okay, well, I think that thing needs fuel. It has a tank on it just like our ship does. Let's jam this in there. Okay, the bridge raises, the counterweights fall, and now there is no longer a huge metal block in front of our ship. Unfortunately, there is also no longer a bridge in front of our ship, which is a new problem to solve. Let's see what we can do about it. What is this? Okay, we have found a lantern. That's not really... Darkness is not one of the problems we were having, but no sense leaving it behind. So yeah, sometimes the camera will draw back and just kind of... Your character will shrink to almost invisibility as you get a sense of the scale of the space. I think has a really, really nice effect. Okay, so we hit this button and... It turns out that the land ship is not the only thing here that is in some state of disrepair. And we can just jump right off this bridge. Your character's clothes kind of billow out and you float when you fall long distances. This isn't really a getting hurt and dying kind of game. And as you could probably tell from how relatively easy it was to get going there, the fact that we didn't really have to figure anything out, there wasn't much of a challenge to it. It's not really a game about difficulty in the way that a lot of games are. This is a lot more similar to something like Abzu or Journey, As you can see here, we press this button in, and the engine starts running. Unfortunately, we are going to have to manually discharge the steam every so often. And also, if we don't keep pressing against it, the button eventually pops loose. Yep, like that. And the steam engine will slow to a crawl, so we gotta keep pressing on this. And honestly, this is a lot of what the game is tending to the engine as it tries to brake in every way imaginable as you cross large, mostly quite empty areas. In some ways, honestly, it's almost like the video game equivalent of a tone poem. Like, I mean, if you've played Abzu, you understand that comparison. It's more of a thing you experience than a thing you play. Okay, we gotta hold up, brake. That is a fuel crate. And so you get into this rhythm with it. You get into this ritual of get the crate, throw the crate in the engine, press in the engine button, let out the steam. There's something almost like meditative about it. And I think we're coming up here on one of those periods I was talking about where I stopped talking so much. Just kind of like, this is the game. We gotta press this button in, we gotta press this button in, but mostly, we just sort of sit here and watch it happen. Also, eventually we run out of gas. Okay, there's some. It's getting a little worried. Also got something else on the ground there. Look at that, beautiful. If you ever have to take more than 2 steps off the ramp to get your fuel, you're terrible at this game. Which is to say that I'm terrible at this game, and that happens to me all the time. Let's get that in the engine. It's getting a little bit foreboding outside, a little ominous. But I do want to grab whatever that is underneath the ship. It's like a bottle or something, or a bowling pin. Well, whatever it is, it's weird garbage from the past, and so it goes in here, in our weird past garbage cave, with that chair and that lantern that I found. Also, my bed, because, let's face it, I too am weird garbage from the past. Alright, let's get going here. I don't really want to stay out here any longer than I have to. Yeah, wow, that wind is really having an effect. It's hard to keep this thing moving forward. Oh, you better put some more gas in. You know, I'm not sure I like driving across this huge flat plane in a giant metal can. If lightning starts striking, yep. We could be in a small amount of trouble. Oh hey, that's gas for that. Yep, see, this is what I was talking about. Look what a bad job I'm doing. Well, the good news is that with all this metal stuff around, it's very unlikely that I will be struck by lightning. We're just going to get this thing rolling again immediately, and then I will hang up the extra fuel. Starting to be the case that there's not a lot of stuff around to attract the lightning, which is making me more worried. Yep, that's the thing I was worried about. We are definitely on fire. Okay, vent the steam. I mean, fortunately it's raining hard enough that probably that fire's not going to spread. That looks real bad, though. Yeah, the sail will not raise at all. Well, I suppose it's not such a bad thing. It's not like we needed to add a tall metal mast to the ship in this weather. Oh, I should put in that other fuel drum. Okay. I think that's the worst of it. Like I said, there's something about the ritual of it that becomes, like, really calming. It's an interesting experience. Given the linearity of it and the lack of difficulty and everything, you might it might be tempting to argue that this could almost just be a movie. Like, it didn't have to be a game. It didn't have to make you actually press the buttons. But if it wasn't you zooming back in every so often to let out the steam, making sure you're holding down the thing, running out to get the crates, the feeling of it would be very different. You know, it's not just about the visuals and the music. The fact that it's interactive adds something even if the actual interactions themselves don't feel particularly meaningful. If that makes sense. And you know, even when it's at its most ominous, even when it's at its most worrying, as during that lightning storm, there's something about it that is calming. It's just like a really chill experience. It's a really chill experience as long as you don't accidentally forget to vent the steam and have the machine blow up on you. So I'll put in some more fuel here. Oh, brakes. Are we good? Yeah. Yeah, we're good. There's an awful lot of electricity coming off of this thing. Well, it looks like we're not going to be going forward any further here. Can we get up on that staircase? Jump up on the sail. Alright, I gotta take us forward just a little bit more. Maybe even a little more. Trying to limit the amount that I slam the front of this thing into huge metal objects, though, given the state of the engine. Yeah, there we go. It would probably roll better if the brake wasn't still on. Yeah, everything in the future is kind of going to hell, huh? So pretty much anything orange or red can be interacted with. So if we grab this, it turns out to be a blowtorch, and as any engineer knows, any kind of mechanical problem you are having with a metal object can be solved by just burning it until it fixes. And yeah, until it works again. There we go. Okay, that seems useful. And the engine's running away without us. Nope, no. Okay. Everything's fine. And hey, look at that. We even got another fuel drum for our trouble. Okay, so we have this new blowtorch thing. We can't get this engine back up to full capacity, back up to operational status where it doesn't occasionally shoot electricity at me. Yeah, cool. Okay, and while this is running, we may as well go up and repair the sail. Who knows when we might need it. Yeah, man, even now, when there's not a lot going on here, and there's almost no background, it's something about the aesthetic of this game. There's an artist whose work I really like that it's kind of reminding me of, and I cannot remember his name now. I'll put a link to his stuff in the description. But he paints these scenes of like sort of like past or recent past architecture mixed with futuristic technology, like robots and stuff in the foreground. And it's very evocative of a feeling that I'm not sure I've ever had. I don't know how to say it, but it makes me miss a place I've never been, you know? Definitely need to stop for this stuff because we are completely out of fuel reserves. And then, you know, we're going to crash right through this fence at full speed because who's going to be here to get upset about it anyway? Okay, well that's interesting, and also, for some reason, a little unnerving. Wait, brakes. Ah. I think we're fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, you know, I should be excited. This is like a sign of civilization. But something about it's very unnerving. I maybe should have thought about the consequences of pressing this button before I pressed this button. Oh, good. The whole tower is listing in the wind. Alright, does one of these buttons raise the gate? How do we, Oh, hold on a second. Huh. Well, I mean, that's heartening. Can I go back down? No, I cannot go back down. Uh-oh. I'm trapped up here. Alright, there we go. It just wasn't quite dialed in. Well, either somebody's maintaining this radio tower, or maybe we got here before the ravages of time did. I suppose either one of those is sort of comforting. And we're going to take this radio with us. A little piece of civilization, a little piece of the evidence of other people. Hang it on this hook. There we go. Oh, hey, the wind's back up. Get a little bit of extra thrust or fuel efficiency or something. You know, I don't even like this song, but it is comforting. Well, as though the game had heard me, there it goes. Well, it was nice while it lasted. Yeah, so, I mean, this is sort of the game. I think at this point you probably have a pretty good idea of whether or not you're down for this. Let's just go ahead and deploy the brakes here and sit and enjoy the scenery. So yeah, this is Far Lone Sails. It's about 3 hours long. It's $15 on Steam. There will be a link to the store page in the description below. Thank you all for watching.